Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Mr. Arona and welcome to the Dungeons & Dragons Math Adventure class. We're going to be going over addition and subtraction in this class. If you have not played Dungeons & Dragons before, that is perfectly fine. If you are a seasoned D&D player, that is awesome also. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a lot of fun, guys, okay? We're going to combine a couple things that I love. D&D and math is going to be combined together. So, what we're going to do, just to give you a little bit of a background on how this is going to work, okay? We're going to go through an adventure together, and I'm going to be putting math questions on the screen, okay? You're going to use your imagination. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want you to work on the math problems as we go along. Now, if you need to ever pause the video, please pause the video to work out the problem, all right? I do have a few rules, okay? They're very, very easy, very simple to follow along with. Number one is no guessing. You can't learn math by guessing. Yeah, you may get the answer correct sometimes, but you really won't know why the answer is correct. So if you guess, okay, 9 plus 2, 11, I think. Okay, why is it 11, right? See, if we actually work the problem out, then we will learn math, okay? All right, so my goal is to, 1, teach you math, and 2, have fun. All right, so the first thing we have to do before we start is make a character, right? So this is going to be very simple. Making a character, you're not going to have a character sheet. I just want you to think of a character's race or species and the class. For example, elf would be the species or race of the character, and wizard or rogue or fighter or barbarian. Okay, so something along those lines, all right? Or you can think of like maybe you want to be a human fighter. If you want to take some time to look up D&D characters, you can. And just choose a character, and at the top of your page, just write down what your character is, okay? So for example, if you played like a gnome barbarian, you would just write gnome barbarian at the top, all right? And if you wanted to take some time to maybe sketch out what your character looked like, or maybe find a picture online, and you can either print that off or just keep it with you and make maybe a little folder with your character in there, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and take some time to think of what character you want to play. All right, so now that we got our characters created, now let's move on to the next step. All right, so your characters are made, now let's begin. You find yourself in the Yawning Portal in the town, or let's say the city of Waterdeep. Waterdeep is a big major city on the Sword Coast, on the continent of Faerun, on the planet of Toril. That's where all the D&D stuff takes place. Well, not all, but a majority of D&D settings takes place. On the continent of Faerun, on the Sword Coast, and you are in the city of Waterdeep, in the establishment called the Yawning Portal. All right, so you're sitting around with your friends and enjoying your meal, all right? When this guy comes over to you and he asks you, are you all enjoying your meal tonight? And you say to him, go ahead and you can speak out loud if you want to, or you can just say in your mind what you say to him, all right? Let me introduce myself. My name is Durnan, and I am the owner and operator of said Yawning Portal. As you've probably noticed, there is a large hole in the middle of my establishment. Now, for just 1 gold coin, I will go ahead and lower you into that hole, which will take you into the first level of the math dungeon. Now, I hear that there's treasures to be had down there. What do you say? Would you like to adventure down into the first level of the dungeon? What's that? You have no coin? Well, okay, I'll tell you what. If you could answer me this math question, I will start you off with 10 gold coins. What is 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1? All right, every time I ask a math question, I'm going to pause for a little bit. That's your cue to go ahead and pause the video, okay, and then write down what I just asked. So the answer is correct, 20. And I'm going to give you half of 20, so I'm going to give you 10 gold pieces. Here you go. Okay, so now what I want you to do is just at the top of your page where you wrote your race in class, just write 10 GP on there. All right, come over this way and go ahead and step on my platform here. Don't worry, it's going to creak a little bit and rock back and forth, but I assure you it is 100% safe. So you head over and you step on the platform, and the rope goes tight. You hear this, the stretch of the rope as it's tightening up, and it sways back and forth, whoosh, back and forth like that. And perhaps you grab onto the ropes to steady yourselves. And he says, all right, hang on. And he starts to crank, and it drops a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. Ugh, it's a little rusty. Here we go. And he starts cranking it down, and pretty soon you start descending down into the yawning portal. As you descend down more and more, deeper and deeper, you look up and you see that he's getting smaller as you're going down into this first level of the dungeon. Now you make it down to the first level of the dungeon, and he yells down to you, all right, go ahead and step off the platform. You step off the platform, and then he starts to crank the platform back up. Says, don't worry, if you ever want to come back up, just ring the bell down there, and I'll bring you back up. Oh yeah, by the way, it does cost 1 gold piece to come back up as well. So he cranks it up. So you've made your way down to the first level of the dungeon. Now the adventure begins. What I did here is I just put a generic token on the screen so we can pretend that this is your character and going through from now on, okay? All right, so you get down to the bottom and you see that the only place you can go is just down south. You start walking down this way, down this long hallway. As you turn the corner, you look at the hallway in front of you and you see numbers. More specifically, you see math equations on the tiles in front of you. It looks like you have to choose the correct tile to step on. So you look at the first one. It says 3 plus 2 equals 5. The one right beside it says 3 plus 2 equals 4. Which one do you choose to step on? Right. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So you go ahead and step on that one. Excellent. Now, you look at the next set of tiles. One equation says 4 plus 4 equals 8. The next one says 4 plus 4 equals 6. Which one do you step on? Go ahead and pause the video. Now, there's a few ways you can do these math equations. I want you to do the way that works best for you, okay? If you want to take some beans or some Legos or any sort of small objects you can, and you can count out. You put 3 of them on your table in front of you, and then you put 2 more, and then you add them up and see what that equals. You can use anything you want, or if you want to write it out on a piece of paper, if that works for you, that's great too. If you want to use a number line where you draw 0 through 1 and you make a line across, you can use a number line as well. Okay? Let me show you the number line way, and I'll show you exactly what I mean by that, okay? Okay, so if we were to do the number line, we would draw a line down and go across like this, and another line right there. Okay, so for this number line, we're going to use the numbers 0 through 10. All right, so I like to go 0 right here and 10 on the right, and then we're going to draw a line in the middle. What's the middle number going to be if it's between 0 and 10? Right, 5. Good. Okay. And then in the middle, we're going to draw 4 tick marks. It doesn't have to be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 more on the right side between 5 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in between those, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings us to 5. Whoops, that is not a 4. There we go. 4. I'm using my finger to draw on the screen. It's one of those touch screens. And then we go 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So for example, the first question, 3 plus 2 equals 5. Does it equal 5? Well, let's find out. We'll start on the number line. We start at 3 right here. And we're going to add 2 more. So we're going to go to the right. So 3, and we count 1, 2. We added 2. Where does that leave us? That leaves us at the 5, right? So 3 plus 2 is 5. According to this, I think it works out. That seems good to me, yeah? All right. So what if well, let's check the other one, see if 3 plus 2 equals 4. Well, we already know 3 plus 2 equals 5. It can't equal anything else, right? So we already know the answer, but just for fun, let's see if 3 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, let's test it out and see. Okay, so we started at 3. And we're going to add 2 more. 1, 2. That brings us back to the 5. Does 3 plus 2 equal 4? No, it doesn't. It equals 5. Yeah. So now we can safely say that, guess what? We can step on that tile, the 3 plus 2 tile, equals 5. And we go ahead and do that, and you are safe. You are safe. Okay, good, good.